Attention seniors, these foods that you thought were safe actually spike your blood sugar. In this video, learn what these foods are and how to safely incorporate them into your diet. Watch till the end as one of them will shock you. The very first food that surprisingly can spike your blood sugar is coffee. Fun fact, countless studies have actually linked coffee consumption with a decreased, not increased, diabetes risk over time. A 2014 study led by Harvard School of Public Health researchers, for example, found that people who increased the amount of coffee they drank each day by more than 1 cup over 4 years had an 11% lower risk for type 2 diabetes than those who made no changes to their coffee consumption. However, an earlier study published in Diabetes Care magazine in December 2004 found that high coffee consumption for 4 weeks increased fasting insulin concentrations compared with coffee abstinence. Also, an article in the Mayo Clinic stated that for some people who are already diabetic, coffee consumption actually increases their blood sugar. So what gives? The answer in all likelihood lies in the way people's bodies respond differently to caffeine. Caffeine stimulates the release of adrenaline and cortisol. Adrenaline can cause a temporary spike in blood sugar levels by promoting the breakdown of stored glucose in your liver and muscles, which provides an energy boost but can also raise the amount of glucose that enters your blood. Similarly, elevated cortisol levels can lead to insulin resistance over time, potentially raising the risk of diabetes. Some people can consume 400 milligrams of caffeine, or about 4 8-ounce cups of coffee daily without any problems. But others, particularly about half of those already diagnosed with diabetes, can see their blood sugar rise. The key solution is to first check your reaction to caffeine, as it won't necessarily be the same as others in your family or social circle. If you are one of those people who have elevated blood sugar after drinking coffee, then lower the frequency of your coffee drinking and keep it to a cup each time. You do not have to cut out coffee completely. You just need to be mindful of how much and how frequently you are drinking it. Next on the list is dried fruits. Fruits in general are indeed healthy. They are nutrient dense and provide vitamins, minerals, and high doses of antioxidants. But not all fruits are created equal. Particularly problematic for older adults who need to manage their blood sugar are dried fruits. Because the water has been removed from dried fruits, this concentrates all the sugar and calories in a much smaller package. For this reason, dried fruits are very high in calories and sugar, including both glucose and fructose. Eating a lot of fructose increases the risk of weight gain, type 2 diabetes, and heart disease. In addition, when fruit dries, the sugar in it becomes highly concentrated and is quickly absorbed into your bloodstream, which causes a spike. Also, because dried fruits come in small but dense packages, it is easy to eat large amounts at a time, which can result in excess sugar and calorie intake. Spiking blood sugar constantly over time can lead to insulin resistance, which in turn can lead to type 2 diabetes. Dried fruits with the highest concentration of sugar include dried apricots, dates, raisins, and cranberries. A small 1-ounce portion of raisins contains 84 calories, almost exclusively from sugar. About 22 to 51% of this sugar content is fructose. There is actually an even worse form of dried fruits, the candied version. To make some dried fruits even more sweet and appealing, manufacturers coat them with added sugar or syrup before being dried. Added sugar has repeatedly been shown to have harmful effects on health, increasing the risk of obesity, heart disease, and even cancer. To avoid dried fruits that contain added sugar, it is very important to read the ingredients and nutrition information found on the package. You do not need to avoid dried fruits completely. The key to consuming dried fruits is really to manage your quantity. If you think about it, you would not ever go and eat 15 apricots, so just be mindful of the quantity you eat. Also, do avoid the candied versions. Other healthier options include just eating smaller portions of actual fresh fruits or choosing lower glycemic fruits like berries. You can also slow down the absorption of sugar by consuming nuts and seeds when you eat dried fruits. Next, let's discuss sugar substitutes. Many seniors replace table sugar with sweeteners, both natural and artificial, thinking that sweeteners are better. But are they really? Natural sweeteners like agave, honey, and maple syrup. A common myth is that natural sweeteners are better than refined sugar. The reality is that these sweeteners are all broken down by the body into individual sugar molecules, contributing calories and raising blood sugar, the same way table sugar does. Agave and honey are primarily broken down into fructose and some glucose, while maple syrup is composed mostly of sucrose, some glucose, and fructose. As with table sugar, natural sugars raise your blood sugar and spike insulin. And just like table sugar, overconsumption of natural sugars can lead to insulin resistance and eventually diabetes. However, one thing about natural sugars in general is that they tend to be sweeter than table sugar. Agave is 1.5 times sweeter than table sugar. Honey is 25% sweeter, and maple syrup is 3 times sweeter. In this way, they are indeed better than table sugar, as you can use less, and in the process, lessen your overall sugar consumption. This means that as long as you keep their use to a minimum, you should be okay. Next, we go to another kind of sweetener, artificial sweeteners. Artificial sweeteners that potentially spike blood sugar include sucralose, aspartame, saccharin, neotame, acesulfame, potassium, potassium, and advantam. In a 2014 study published in Nature magazine, researchers at Johns Hopkins University in Maryland tested the effects of 4 sugar substitutes on blood sugar in 120 adults in Israel without underlying health conditions. On average, the researchers found that people who consumed saccharin and sucralose had significant spikes in blood sugar after glucose tolerance tests. The sweeteners themselves do not raise blood glucose, but seem to impair the body's ability to manage glucose levels after eating. Some other studies have also found that sucralose, aspartame, and saccharin can alter the healthy bacteria that live in your gut. These microbiome changes can disrupt how cells recognize insulin, leading to elevated blood sugar levels when normal carbohydrate-containing foods are consumed. In addition, a June 1987 study in rats looked at how injecting large amounts of acesulfame potassium affected insulin levels. They found a massive increase of 114 to 210%. Other studies have also shown that artificial sweeteners may change our appetites in response to the taste of sweetness. Since artificial sweeteners can be 100 to 700 times sweeter than regular sugar, when our taste buds register that level of sweetness, a signal is sent to our brain that a large influx of calories is coming. When those calories don't come, our brain and taste receptors become confused, and this may cause stronger sugar cravings to develop. For a certain percentage of people who give in to these cravings, they ironically end up consuming more sugar and calories, spiking their blood sugar in the process. Beware of artificial sweeteners. It is probably best to avoid them altogether and stick to natural sweeteners in moderation. This last one you absolutely would not have expected. Starchy vegetables. Vegetables are nutrient-dense foods, and we absolutely should be filling half our plates with them. However, seniors, particularly those watching their blood sugar, should be very careful with high-starch vegetables. A study published on September 27, 2023 in the Medical Journal, the BMJ found that starch-rich foods tend to digest faster than fiber-rich foods, causing a rapid increase in blood sugar levels. This quick increase can trigger metabolic processes that convert these sugars into stored body fat. They found that a 100 grams per day increase in high-starch vegetable consumption was associated with greater weight gain over 4 years of 2.6 kilograms. Does this mean you should never eat potatoes or other starchy vegetables? Absolutely not. Starchy vegetables are a good source of carbohydrates, fiber, minerals, and vitamins. They do not need to be avoided. They just need to be moderated. Nutrition experts unanimously agree it comes down to focusing on portion size, how you prepare them, and monitoring the impact they have on your blood sugar levels. Certified Diabetes educator and registered dietitian Melissa Joy Dobbins notes that most people can include 1 serving per meal or snack as part of their total carbohydrate intake. As with any carbohydrate food, it's best to eat them along with foods containing protein and/or unsaturated fats, as these macronutrients will help slow the digestion of carbohydrates and result in more stable blood sugar levels. As we have just learned, diet is never a straight black and white issue, as any food can affect people differently. What is safe for me may be harmful for you. Try your best to increase your overall knowledge so that you can truly enjoy your golden years.